Hello and welcome to Front Row Racing. It's Sunday night, which means it's time for the Front Row Racing PCS, the Aussie V8's round 6 at Imola, where we're going to be sending the drivers to the track to see how many of the 27 laps they can complete. I'm Front Row Racing DP. I'll be doing commentary this evening if my voice holds out, and joining me in the commentary box is GT5 King 786. How are you this evening, Rian?
Very well, thank you. And yeah, hello everyone.
I'm sure they say hello back.
Yeah.
Okay, a little bit of information about the Aussie V8s for people. Top speed looking around about 185 mile an hour, 635 brake horse, and 3 tyre compounds, softs, hards, and the wets. Although for this evening's event, I don't think we'll be needing the wet tyres. Although having said that, even when it is wet, I don't think we need the wet tyres. But time to send the drivers over to the circuit. Imola, a fantastic racetrack, one obviously has plenty of history about it. So I'll just randomly hand over to Rian to see if you've prepared anything you could comment about this circuit.
Well, I haven't driven on this track previously in different cars. Unfortunately, I haven't had the time to have a go with the Aussie V8s, but I've driven the Aussie V8s before for the previous race, and knowing this, the nature of this track, I'm guessing it will be another tricky race for these guys. And qualifying has started. Let's see who is on track right now.
Woolhouse is one of the first. I'll tell you what, they're getting out there straight away. You're not wasting any time in getting out on the track. Chris Court is...
sorry, is it? I believe it's a long lap, isn't it? Remember.
It is quite a long lap around here, yeah. So the drivers are not going to want to waste any time at all. I mean, we have got a 15-minute qualifying session, then a 5-minute warm-up, and then the 27-lap race. So for the drivers, they do need to get out, get some laps in, and see where they're going to be starting the race from. Now, as they get themselves prepared, I'm just going to quickly run through last week's result as best I can. Apologies about my voice, folks. I'm really not very well at the moment. First place, GBM Beardy at last week's race, round 5 at the Brno circuit. He's kind of running away with the PCS season this time around. But yeah, he took victory at Brno. Hesselden second place, Livebry third, Casely fourth, GT Gavin 5th, Jason 6th, Chris Core 7th, David Harp 8th, James Hulkenberg 9th, GBM Vectra 10th, Jonesy in 11th, and then we've got Woolhouse, Andy Russell and Richard Davey, who did not finish in the constructors. I don't mean the constructors, in the drivers' standings. We've got GBM Beardy leading the way. I think he's won 4 of the 5 races. He's leading the way on 116 points as Chris Court is letting Livebry past him by the looks of it. So Livebry may be the first to put a lap in. No, it wasn't Livebry, it was somebody else. Woolhouse, he'll be the first to put a lap in. So yeah, GBM Beardy leading the way on 116 points, and then Livebry on 96, Hesselden on 77, Casely on 52, GT Gavin 2 on 47, I think that says, and then we've got Dave the Harp on 43, GBM Vectra on 41, Neotig on 37, Chris Core on 30, Adam 4600 on 20, Front Row Racing RI on 15, Driver Montana on 11, Woolhouse on 10, Jason on 10, and then we've got Andy Russell on 8, James Hulkenberg on 7, Jonesy on 5, Leoma McElroy, Duo Finn, Richard Davey all haven't scored, but we do have a new reserve driver in this evening. I did send invites out to a few guys. Oh, Chris Core's just gone deep, big deep into the gravel there in the background.
Just seen that.
I think that's actually at the point where Ratzenberger went off, you know.
Was it?
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah. I could be wrong, but I know they altered the layout of the circuit slightly there. But anyway, that's the old points dealt with, so I can get rid of those from my view. And we can focus a little bit more on the racetrack here. So, Rian, I mean, you watched last week's race, so you were able to commentate on it. Is there anyone that you're looking to perhaps stand out a little bit this week?
Well, I'm hoping to see another good performance from GBM Birdie, who, as you said, won the race last time out, and Livebry as well. And as I could just see, Neoteg actually went into the barrier, I believe. I'm not sure where that is. I think that is going into Sector 2 actually, going uphill. And Neoteg actually, good to see him back with us for this time round. But yeah, also with Livebry, he did take pole position, but unfortunately he did have a jump start penalty, which meant that he was from the back after lap 1, but he did have a good race to finish third. But yeah, those two guys I'm hoping to have a good strong finish. In Livebry, some people haven't said laps actually. GB and Birdie taking pole position currently with 141.5, and Bill House 5 seconds behind with 146.4. And Livebry is second behind him with 147.3.
Yep, Jones has just crossed the line. Yep, 154. Now, something I will have to mention is that Hesselden, a driver that we would usually expect to see here fighting for pole position, is not on track this evening, as RKB Sergeant Caliber gets himself into what was 5th but is now 6th. Hesselden messaged me earlier today telling me that he's not going to be able to race this evening. So, a bit of a shame for him, that one, and for us, because he is a very good driver. Maybe James Hulkenberg beating him the other day just hurt so much he drank too much last night. Casely, Caseley's on a flying lap at the moment. Oh no, he's had to abandon it. He couldn't get it turned in for the chicane. GBM Vectra, he's going sideways down the road. David Harp is on an out lap, and Hulkenberg, he's just started a flying lap, I believe. And what I would like to do is get on board with somebody that is just about to start a lap and go full on board for the full lap. Caseley, there we go. No, he's about to jump back to the pits. That won't work. There we go, Adam 4600. He's just started a lap, so he's going down the start finish into the Tamburello chicane, and he's going into the gravel at the Tamburello chicane, going quite slowly through there. Obviously, the corner we all know about. So is that Livebry up to second?
Yep, only 1 second behind GP and Birdie. So
Okay,
8 minutes to go.
As Riyadh interrupts me at the point I was about to mention the great man. I don't know.
Sorry.
It's alright. I'll find somebody else to go on board with, shall I? Let's see. Well, I'll tell you what, GBM Beardy, he's about to start an out lap, so as he makes his way up to the first corner is Tamburello, obviously changed to a chicane after the unfortunate crash that Senna did have. Although I do think, if Senna had the choice, he'd still have had it as a flat out corner, just from a better runoff area. Second chicane, the Villeneuve chicane, and this chicane was introduced because of the crash with Roland Ratzenberger. He hit the wall on the right hand side of the view there, into the Tosa hairpin, and then heading up the hill towards almost a blind left hand corner, this one, a surprisingly fast corner. If you get it right. If you get it wrong, you're going to be running a long way off track. Then you head down the hill and into a fantastic bit of the circuit, the Acqua Minerale. Quite a quick right-hander, slow it down for a tight right-hander, and then absolutely hammer it up the hill over the crest and then up towards the Variante Alta, a horrible little chicane with enormous curbs on it. I think we'll see a bit of action into there today, potentially cars on their roof as well. And now Beard is going to make his way down the hill to the Rivazza curves. Absolutely flat out down here, and in the old F1 cars, I mean, this is a fantastic track to go around in old F1 cars. In these Aussie V8s, I can imagine it's going to get very tricky when the tyres begin to wear.
Yeah, It was a rather smooth lap actually from Beardy. He didn't really make any mistakes, hit the apexes perfectly, and really nice exits out of the corners, and I don't think he actually improved. But in fact, he's just leaving the pits now. He's actually gone a bit faster. He's still second, but 2 tenths behind Beardy, so he's catching up, and a bit of pressure added on to Beardy now. GT Gavin is third.
We'll see what Beardy can do on this lap. That previous lap was his out lap, so he'll be pushing in now to try and get a time on the board here. And apologies, viewers, for the usual project cars. Let's make the car sound absolutely ridiculous and make it sound like it's misfiring all the time. Why it does it, I don't know, but it really is tedious because it spoils the whole audio of the game. Albeit he's ran a little bit wide there. I have to hope that that didn't invalidate his lap. Quite nicely into the Aqua Minerale, using all of the curb that's available. He's got a car ahead of him. I can't quite tell who that is. It could be Livebry in the green card.
No, I'm just checking. I believe it's the orange car, isn't it?
No, it's a green one just ahead of Beardy, but it might be Woolhouse. You can see how Beardy is so much quicker through these particular corners. Watching compared to the car that's just ahead of him is actually fast enough to give him a bit of a nudge on the exit of the corner as they now go side by side towards the finish line. I've got a feeling Jonesy, okay, I think Beardy may have had this lap invalidated, but we'll see if he does improve on his time at all. No, he doesn't. Okay, so you were mentioning that Livebry's close, but Livebry not on a flying lap at the moment. GT Gavin 2 making his way out the pits. Dave the Harp visually drifting, but actually not drifting. So the fantastic project cars, audio bugs and drifting bugs kicking in this evening. Let's see, Hulkenberg, is he on a flying lap at the moment? He is. Let's see where he's going to get himself on the grid. Now, when he had a go in these last week, he did say that they are very different to drive compared to the PCF Lotus. And I think he probably would have spent a lot of his time practicing in the Lotus compared to these Aussie V8s. Let's see if he's going to improve on his time. He does, but only by a tenth.
And only just past Dave the Harp,
who is just making his way sideways up to the line. Let's see what time that's going to be. Is he going to improve? No, time does not change. Let's see, Case Slay. He's currently in 6th. And he is on a flying lap as well. Although he is a couple of tenths off Livebry's latest Sector 1 time.
Yeah, it's not a good, well, it's actually a pretty good lap. Sector 1 from Livebry. He's heading down the hill into a double right-hander going up the hill. No, not so bad so far. Keeping quite close. He did cut the corner there. Don't know if that invalidated the lap, but we shall see.
Well, at the moment he only needs a couple of tenths to try and fight GBM Beardy for pole position.
And there will still be time after this lap to set a lap, another lap for him as well, so he can still get one last chance as long as he has enough fuel in his car to do so.
Well, onto the start-finish straight, which isn't particularly straight. It's got about 3 corners in it. But has it been a good lap? Has it been good enough to steal pole position? It may have been an out lap because it wasn't good enough. GBM Beardy.
No, it was 1.4, so only a tenth off his PB. So
he's got
one more chance.
Yeah, he's got one more chance, as you say. GT Gavin 2, he's in 3rd at the moment. Although he's had a fairly slow Sector 1 time. Dave the Harper 33.6, it's not bad, but I know Livebry did a 33.3, I think it was, on his previous lap, and it wasn't quick enough.
Now for Livebry, so not a very good Sector 1 from him.
Well, actually,
got traffic ahead of him.
32.9 is 4 tenths faster than he did on his previous lap, so he may be absolutely gunning for it here.
And he's got traffic ahead of him. I'm trying to see who that is.
That will probably be Neotig. He likes to.
I think so.
He'd like to be in the grizzly bear.
Well.
He's lost it though. He's lost it. He's had a bit of a mess on the exit of the corner. That'll help Livebry out, but not himself.
Livebry 41.6 sector 2, and it will be a close one. And Beardy is in the pit, so he's confident that he'll take pole position. But Livebry, his only competitor, he's just about to cross the line in just a few seconds. Will he take pole position from GB and Beardy?
I think he will. No, he doesn't.
And he doesn't. Oh, exactly the same lap time as his PB. Exactly the same.
Well, he was quick enough to improve, but not quick enough to steal pole position. So at the moment we've got GT Gavin third, and not
faster than the PB.
Yeah, it was only a tenth faster. GT Gavin is still on track, but not enough time to set a lap. I think that's pretty much qualifying over. Woolhouse is out on track somewhere with Jonesy by the looks of things, but they're not going to get any more laps in.
And it looks like he's having a fight with someone. I think that is Jackie Jonesy he's fighting with. And Jonesy spins Woolhouse off. And that's the end of qualifying.
Yep, so GBM Beardy does take pole position once again ahead of Livebry. Now, Livebry will be hoping that he doesn't go and get another jump start, because if there's ever a decent opportunity to steal a win and gain points on Hesselden by 25 points, then this is the chance. Beardy as well, but opportunities like that don't come around that often, so you have to take them when they come. Let's see. So we're on to a 5-minute warm-up session now, which is just there for the drivers to get their setups finalised, get their strategies sorted out, give the car a bit of a run with the full fuel on, because obviously the cars will handle differently with low fuel compared to high fuel. Now, in last week's race, we were talking about the tyres around the Brno circuit, whether any of the drivers would have been using the soft tyres or the harder tyres. The soft tyres do not last long. They will wear out very, very quickly. The hard tyres will tend to last around double the length of time, if not a little bit more. But for yourself, Rianne, I mean, what would you do around this track? It hasn't got as many corners as the Brno circuit. Would you be tempted to risk a set of the softer tyres in the race at any point?
Not really, because I know, and Jonesy just completely messes out one of the corners, and he goes into it. But yeah, particularly the first couple of chicanes, they would be good for the soft tyres, but they're quite fast chicanes and they will completely shed the soft tyres. And maybe if my hard tyres probably ran out with only a couple of laps to go, I might just bargain myself for the softs. But I'm not sure. I think most of these drivers, particularly the top three, might just try going for the full hard tyres for the whole race.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that I've talked about since the PCS season started in these Aussie V8s, where you got a set of cheesy soft tyres and a set of sort of concrete hard tyres. Your soft tyres are pretty much for qualifying, and that's about it. You qualify on those tyres and absolutely shred them. You don't have to start on those tyres for the race. So yeah, I mean, keep the hard tyres for the race. So I think on average we've been looking at sort of 2-3 stop races this season, and with a 27 lap race here, I mean, if you split that into two, what do you come up with? 14 pretty much, a 14 and a 13. So if you can get sort of 13-14 laps out of the hard tyres, that'll be quicker than doing a potential 4-stop strategy, having to use lots of softs.
But I would probably just go for a 3-stopper, 7 laps each on the primes. Well, on the hard. Nah, well, actually, I see what you mean. Actually, yeah. Never mind.
Well, I mean,
the maths went wrong there.
It's interesting though. I mean, if you think about it though, I mean, okay, 14 and 13, it could tempt someone to go in. Well, you know what? Instead of doing 14 laps on a set of hards, if I use the soft tyres and do 7 laps and pit and put another set of softs on and do 7 laps, then there's those 14 laps on the soft tyres. I should be a lot quicker. Well, you might be a bit quicker on your lap times, but the length of time you lose in the pit lane on project cars is absolutely enormous, and it's an absolute fight to try and get it back.
And as Adam 4600 appears to go through the wall chicane at the end of the lap. I think he actually missed that out there. I'm not entirely sure what he did. But only a minute to go, and not a lot of people actually set laps. Most of the grid in the garage, just waiting until the time goes down to start the race. Following Yasin right now, he's currently the fastest person on track at the moment.
Well, I mean, he's the guy that, I mean, he's been very good in these cars this season. Tends to look after the tyres a bit. Tries doing a stop or so less than a few other guys. And has been quite aggressive off the starts, trying to gain a few places. We'll have to wait and see what happens there.
You just noting what you said about him conserving his tyres. I do remember, because he is also was a World Championship driver for our F1 leagues and in FR, and like in America he did a 1-stop. And I think most of us were quite surprised about how did he do that around America, which completely shreds these tyres. But anyway, I think it's time for the race, so over to you.
It is, and we've got 5 seconds, and then it's time for the drivers to show us what they have got around the Imola circuit for the Row Racing PCS Round 6. The lights will be coming on any moment now, and it's time for the drivers to make sure they get a good start to the race. The lights are on, the lights are green, away they go, heading now down to turn 1. And we'll go and see what carnage we're going to spot. Oh, we've got Neotig, he's off into the barrier. He's taken a car with him as well. That could be damage on both of those guys. Up at the front, we've just seen a car, I think, nudge the back of Hulkenberg, and one take a lot of exit corner. May have a bit of a power boost penalty there. It might have been Jonesy, that one. Let's see, up at the front, GBM Beardy opens up a little bit of a gap to Live Bryce second, GT Gavin third, Dave the Heart fourth. James Hulkenberg in 5th place, and it's getting very, very busy just ahead of him and just behind him. K-Slay 6th, Adam 4600 7th, Jonesy 8th, Woolhouse 9th. The new guy Caliber was in 10th. He is in 10th as Neotig spinning in the background again. Jason 11th, Chris Core 12th, GBM Vectra 13th, and Neotig at the back of the grid.
Yeah. And it's actually Neotig and Vectra who collided back at the start of the race. And I'd like to see Willhouse has actually been dropped down to 10th place now. And Vectra, not Vectra, sorry, Caliber, did make a good overtake. And the double right-hander going up the hill, and executing, I believe it is. But a surprisingly clean start from these drivers. And it's good to see. Hopefully we have some good clean action throughout the duration of the race.
Yeah, well, GB and Beardy up at the front. He's managed to pull a gap, but Live Bryce followed him. 3rd place, GT Gavin 2. He's dropped off him a little bit, but he's now got David Harp all over the back of him. And then just behind them we've got K-Slay, sneaks past James Hulkenberg in the Ravazza curves. And then I think that's Adam 4600. Yep, going sideways just behind them as Hulkenberg now trying to find his way back past K-Slay up towards Tamburello.
Yeah, slipstreaming isn't that effective. Could be setup-wise, but...
Oh, GT Gavin's off. Sorry, GT Gavin's gone off right in front of Dave the Harp. Dave's just given him a little bit of a nudge there, as I say, come on, get going, fella. But that's now put K-Slay all over the back of Gavin.
Yep, and Livebry is actually still maintaining the gap behind Beardy, so Beardy isn't probably won't have as much of a smooth cruise compared to last time out. Livebry could be a real contender to win the race.
He definitely could be. Now, what I'm interested to know now is whether Dave the Harp, who's got ahead of GT Gavin, can begin to catch them up at all, and whether perhaps K-Slay, Hulkenberg can get past Gavin and make some inroads into the guys up at the front, because those two at the front, they have pulled away now.
Yep.
Oh, it's getting busy here. GT Gavin, he's got K-Slay trying to get past him, and Hulkenberg trying to sneak up the inside. That's not going to work into that chicane, and he has to think twice of it. Okay, let's see how the rest of the guys getting on. A little bit further spread out, so 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th. Or 11th and 12th.
And Caliber's up to 8th now, and Jones, they did have a spin. I can't remember what corner while you were talking there, so I don't really want to interrupt you, but yeah, Jones is now moved down to 12th, and Luke Langdon moved up a place now.
And Jason, something's happened to him as well, because he's down to 14th.
Yep, and Hulkenberg is now drifting as always, just like last time out, so now there's two drivers doing double drifts, so twin drifting around here in Imola. Hopefully there won't be any more drivers doing it.
Well, you'll probably find that by the time we finish, they'll all be doing it. I mean, up at the front though, it almost looks like Livebry is almost sort of
pacing. To slow it down a lot. I think he actually had a penalty there. Cut the corner a bit too much going at the chicane, and he did slow down a lot. He's still 7th place, but Caliber is now pulled quite a close gap on him now.
Yep.
As Casey's now moved up to 4th place, GT Gavin moved down to 5th.
So K-Slay is moving forwards then. I'll tell you what, we have got a right little battle going on. Oh, we've got a car off. We've got a car off. Is that... it is. It's Caliber. Caliber's just had a bit of an off. Don't know if that involved Adam 4600, but Chris Corn 9th is now all over the back of him and is bringing on, or bringing with him, 3 other cars, but one of them's going very deep.
Yeah,
I think that
Vectra.
It was Vectra. So we kind of got 2 packs of Woolhouse going for a sneaky move on Jonesy here. A little bit of argy-bargy, and they both might end up with power boost penalties there. There's 3 of them with power boost penalties. Oh, Neotig very nearly hit the back of GBM Vectra there. I mean,
Vectra did have a penalty there, and he did actually move down quite a few places there.
Yeah, he's
lucky to him.
Lost about 4 places. It's something the drivers sort of are going to have to think about, that if they do go off the track a little bit too much, they could end up with penalties. Oh, there's a little nudge, I think, on Jonesy. I don't think he's going to make that corner. He's not. He's into the gravel. And that's Neotig ahead of him.
Oh, contact there.
And Jonesy's spun
into the wall. Yes, he is.
Either that or he's parked it next to the marshals. Okay, let's have a look what's going on up at the front. GBM Beardy still leading. Livebry right up his rear wing. I've got a feeling that Livebry is kind of just pacing himself behind Beardy at the moment.
And looks like he does have a good exit of that corner. See what happens around here. And Beardy did run wide a little bit. I don't think you actually get penalties for running out wide there, so probably is a common thing to do that around this track.
There's a few of the corners where you can run wide, but if you run wide a little bit more, you do then get a power boost penalty.
Right.
The corner after the hairpin, yes, Peralta, that left-hander. You can use a bit of the exit curve, but if you go a little bit further off, just like here now, you can end up with a power boost penalty. It's one of those where you think, oh, got away with that, oh, got away with that, oh, got away with that, oh, okay, that was a bit too much. Okay, let's have a look. 3rd place, Dave the Hart. As you mentioned a few moments ago, K-Slay is up to 4th, with GT Gavin in 5th. Hulkenberg in 6th. Those guys have spread out a little bit. Adam 4600 going very, very slow.
He cut the chicane, so he had a penalty, and Caliper will be able to close the gap even more. And Chris Core, he is off, and I think he had a power boost penalty as well. And he's down to 11th.
Yep, he's lost 2 places with that power boost penalty. Oh, Jason, he's coming under attack a little bit from GBM Vectra. This for 12th and 13th. Jonesy down in 14th now. So 4 laps into the race, 23 to go. And I think we'll be looking at pit windows anywhere around 10 laps gone or longer. Anyone that's pitting now or within the next lap or two, I think is on the soft tyres. Or Woolhouse, he's off at Tamburello in the gravel. That's a power boost penalty. The cars behind him are going to catch him up. Hopefully it's not going to cause a collision. There's
Neotic is chasing fast.
Oh, Woolhouse is off again.
Lost it.
I wonder if he's perhaps got a little bit of damage on that car, or whether it just got on the curb and didn't like it, but it's another power boost penalty for him. Okay, Dave the Hawk is now going sideways as K-Slay is all over the back of him. Now, we saw last week... Go on.
Sorry, Wheelhouse is actually... I'm not sure, I think he lost it going out that hairpin, not entirely sure what corner that is, but it looks like he's recovered well. It's still 11th, and Vectra able to close the gap on him even more. As Vectra runs wide. No, not Vectra, sorry. Well, it was Vectra, okay, never mind.
Oh, I've just heard the sound of someone hitting the wall hard. I think it may have been perhaps a bit of lag. I mean, K-Slay, I was about to mention last week that K-Slay had an enormous amounts of lag. And when he watched the broadcast back, he did say that he did tell me that on his view everybody was lagging, but what we saw was not happening with his car. So the sound of something hitting the barrier then could just have been a little bit of lag.
Someone going slow. Caliber has possibly had a power boost penalty. He's down to 10th, so I think he probably actually lost it because he was quite far ahead. I think he was running 8th before he had that penalty. But so probably had a moment and possibly a power boost penalty as well. It's a bit of a shame, but hopefully he can catch back up. Well,
the front end of his car on my screen is looking a little bit dented. So it is possible.
Disconnected.
Oh dear, so Jonesy out of the race then. Woolhouse looks like he's getting back up to speed, but he's got GBM Vectra trying to catch up with him, and then Jason, who is not too far behind him either. So although it is beginning to get a little bit spread out, it could all quickly close up again.
Yeah, because looking at the front, Beardy has pulled a little bit of a gap to Lively, but Lively going out of those double left-handers onto the start-finish straight-ish. He's managed to pull the gap back down a bit, so I think it could possibly be a race-long battle between these two, and hopefully it's a good one. And Lively is actually switching quite well. Should he make a dive? No, into Tamburello.
Beardy is defending though. He's realising that Livebry's got a good run on him. Although visually for me here, Livebry is sideways on the screen, but Beardy's definitely going defensive.
For me it's not, but possibly I could possibly get that soon, maybe.
I mean, every time...
Harper's now sliding.
Okay, now, for Beardy, every time he defends is costing himself time. But obviously, if he's defending, he feels he needs to, because if he doesn't, Lively is just going to simply skip right past him.
Because these two are pretty close, but Beardy band a little bit wide compared to Lively having a tighter line. But it looks like, in fact, the Beard had a better exit going out of that left-hander and going into the double right-hander up the hill, heading to the chicane, which has caused quite a few problems for some drivers so far with penalties, and I think so far these two have handled it pretty well.
Well, this is where a little bit of the touring cars mentality could come into play a little later on, as a driver goes, "Oh, sorry, I just got on the brakes a little later than I usually would," and give you a nudge through the corner, and I drove off while you got a power boost penalty. Well, Lively, I mean, he's just hanging on to the back of Beardy. I think he's kind of playing a bit of a patient game here. Perhaps sort of just thinking, oh, there's 20 laps to go, there's no point hammering his tyres to get past now. Hulkenberg. I think Hulkenberg may have either had a crash or has made a pit stop. Looking at the gap between him in 6th and GT Gavin in 5th, I think he's had a bit of an off. That's not a gap big enough for a pit stop, because he's a few seconds behind, but not a pit stop. He's actually going for the pit lane now. Yeah, so could be the first.
Because he was sliding into that corner for lag, and it actually looked like he was about to hit the pit barrier in the middle, but I think that was because of the lag button, but he did indicate normally. And it looks like more cars are actually having more of this sliding, drifting lag than last time. I think only Hulkenberg and I believe it was Chris Carr was having lag.
We've got a car in the barrier. We've got a car in the barrier. I'm not sure who that was.
Yeah, sure.
It may have been Adam 4600. Yes, by the looks of the damage. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think he has been lapped. Oh, I tell you what though, it's getting busy. Hulkenberg's come out of the pits in 10th place with...
Wilhelm's is diving, and he's made it. A pretty good move there. Diving move on the inside of Tamburello. He's ended up at 8th place. Chris Cord dropped down Calico jumped down to 9th, but still coming up to Wilhelm's. And Hulkenberg, I thought you drifted it there.
Well, for Hulkenberg, that couldn't have been timed any worse, although Caliber's off.
Caliber's in the block. Yes, he is.
And having said that, okay, that's GBM Vectra. So yeah, this hasn't timed well for Hulkenberg, but he is on much fresher tyres now, so he needs to get past as quickly as possible. Caliber having his little bit of an off has just helped him, but now he needs to try and get past Woolhouse as quickly as he can. Oh, he's got the inside line. He's already ahead into Aqua Minerale. So
Neotech has lost it. He's now approaching the chicane before the last couple of corners.
So he's now got Hulkenberg right behind him, and GT Gavin, who you said has pitted, is who Hulkenberg is effectively racing against. So for Hulkenberg, he needs to have gained enough on this outlap to be ahead of GT Gavin.
I don't think it's going to happen. Oh, GT Gavin's actually coming out of the pits, so yeah, I believe he will still be ahead of Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg is now going in the final left-hander onto the start of the chicane with a few corners in it. And GT Gavin coming up to pit lane is still 5th, and maybe not, he's now down to 6th, but Chris Carr passed him.
Yep. So Hulkenberg has lost out on GT Gavin there. Neo Tig, he's in 7th place now, and his car's looking fairly clean and the front end looks okay. So I've got a feeling he may have pitted not too long ago.
Just looking back the fronts, and Beardy and Livebriar in the pits.
So that's effectively 8 laps then from the tyres. I mean, that could just be Live Bryce saying, that's fine, you pit whenever you want to pit, I'm just going to follow you. Like I said, could be playing the patient game and waiting until later on to really perhaps try and attack him. Dave the Harp's now going to take the lead, and Kay Slay is going to take 2nd place. But neither of those guys have pitted yet.
Landberg going out of his pit box, and I thought he was about to jump Beardy, but Beardy is still ahead of him. So 3rd for Beardy and 4th Live, right, I think. And the next person on track behind them is Chess 4, heading out of the final chicane of the track, heading downhill. And Hulkenberg's actually lost it, and I think Neotech is starting to catch up on Hulkenberg.
Well, actually, I think Neotig was ahead of Hulkenberg a few moments ago, so perhaps Hulkenberg... yeah, I think maybe Neotig's had a little bit of a moment there. Let's see, GT Gavin 2... Okay, Live Bryce car is not going sideways anymore, so it looks like the way to stop the cars from drifting is for them to pit. It's handy to know, so hopefully when Dave the Harp stops, it'll happen for him as well.
But GT Gavin is trying to catch up on Chris Cornell. GT Gavin, of course, on those new tyres, which I believe are possibly the hard tyres, or who knows. But with the new tyres, he's able to make a good close gap to Chris Corn.
I tell you what though, Hulkenberg's catching these guys at a vast rate of knots. So Chris Core is helping out Hulkenberg at the moment as GT Gavin gives him a little bit of a nudge.
Just past him.
And managed to just about keep facing the right direction, but that, I mean, Gavin had to get ahead. He was losing too much time behind Chris Core there, and he could see Hulkenberg beginning to catch him up. And the thing is though, Rian, I mean, okay, a lot of the guys so far have gone sort of 7-8 laps on their sets of tyres. But, I mean, you've got Chris Core here who's still going round. Jason, who I wouldn't be surprised if he's still going round. So, could these guys not have done the extra 3 or 4 laps on the tyres?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
That is the honest answer though, isn't it, really? We don't know.
Yeah.
Hulkenberg.
But Hulkenberg is actually right behind Chris Core, so possibly going the outside note, he's has to back out of it.
So Chris Core's gone defensive though. I was going to say, these two corners, really, really hard to overtake on. But if you can get the car ahead defending, then you can overtake down the start-finish, which is what Hulkenberg's trying to do here. Ducks them, gets up alongside. He's now going to want to try and use the slipstream of the car ahead, but GT Gavin is quite far ahead, but Hulkenberg is now up to 6th and Gavin in 5th. Live Bright 4th, and I tell you what, GBM Beardy, he's pulled out a bit of a gap on Live Bright now.
Yeah, he has. So I'm not entirely sure why that's happened. Maybe they are on different tires, or maybe Live Bright put on a little bit more fuel than Beardy if he had to, but who knows? Guess you'll find out later on in the race.
Yeah, maybe Beardy was just taking it easy in that first into the race and has now decided, you know what, I'm not going to let you follow me and copy what I'm doing. I'm going to pull away and you're going to have to do your own thing.
And Hulkenberg looks like he's actually caught up to GT Gavin a little bit. He's closing the gap to him.
Something's happened to Neotig because he is just behind Dave the Harp and just ahead of Kay Slay. So I think he could be running quite far down the field. But yeah, GT Gavin and Hulkenberg is the next sort of closest battle. Neotig is in 9th place. And it's Woolhouse he's got behind him. My apologies. Jason is 11th, Adam 4600 12th. And Sergeant Caliber, his race is over.
Yeah.
Oh dear, unfortunate one for him on his debut race. Live Bride's now going sideways again as Beardy's still pulling away, but I tell you what, it is getting busy. Neotig was between Dave and Kaysley, so 9th place is now a lap down, but Dave and Kaysley have not pitted yet, and they're getting what they've done. This is their 11th lap on these tyres.
Oh, so probably going. Well, I'm guessing they must be on the hard tyres, otherwise the soft tyres would have exploded quite a bit. So possible one stop for these.
Well, I think if they've gone this far, all they've got to do is try and go another 2 or 3 laps, and yeah. I mean, if you've been running full fuel and do 13 laps on the first set. And Beardy's got a power boost penalty.
Oh, he has.
Live Bright, is he going to get past? He is, he might. I don't know, he could.
Yes, he will.
Oh dear, so Beardy was looking comfortable. He's now not comfortable at all. He's got Live Bright ahead of him, drifting all over the place.
Live Bright's run a bit wide, and Beardy going around the inside of Live Bright, and he takes 3rd place back on him. But still, he's still not safe yet. Live Bright had a better exit out of that corner. And it's nearly wheel to wheel onto the start finish straight with a few corners in it. Heading into Tamburello we go. Beardy defensive, but Live Bright, can he make him on the outside? And he does. A beautiful overtake there by Live Bright.
Beardy's coming for the switchback.
Yes, he will. And looks like we definitely do have a battle on here between Live Bright and Beardy.
Now, these two guys have got a car just ahead of them. It's a blue one, but it's not Kaysley. I think it's Woolhouse. So, These guys are about to hit back markers, but Casely and Dave the Harp are not going to be that far up the road.
No, and as Row House, as he said, the check there.
Now let's see, I mean, these two guys, they pitted, what, 23 laps to go, was it? Oh, Beardy's off, Beardy's off!
Oh,
He's spun it! He's spun it! That'll please Live Bry. There you go, Beardy, back it up a bit, and now you're in camera shot. There you go, get going again. Now, where's 5th place? 5th place is Hulkenberg. Apologies, we've missed Hulkenberg getting past GT Gavin too, but there's quite a gap between 5th and 4th place at the moment. But for Beardy, that's a moment that could have just cost him this win.
Definitely, and Live Bry pleased with himself. Must be a smile under the helmet. Probably some laughing as well.
Casely's in the pits. Dave the Harp's continued on.
Yeah, I think Dave the Harp is definitely in a one-stop here. And if he pits now, he can comfortably go to the end of the race on another set of 4 tires.
Well, Casely, he's done 13 laps. And he's pitted before Dave. If he has a good outlap, he could undercut Dave here. But Live Bry now up to 2nd. Beardy, he's now up to 3rd. Casely down to 4th. Hulkenberg's in 5th with a back marker of Chris Core ahead of him, and GT Gavin just behind him. Chris Core, it wasn't Chris Core, it was Adam 4600, my apologies, as the back marker. Chris Core is 7th, GBM Vectra 8th, Neotig 9th, Woolhouse 10th, and Jason 11th, not that far behind him, and it is Adam 4600 in 12th.
I'm just looking at the current lap times set by the drivers, and Dave the Harp isn't actually doing too bad. He's only 2 seconds a lap slower than Live Bry on the newish tyres. Dave the Harp, of course, still to pit. Guessing he might pit this lap. Chris Core's into the pits. Just looking, caliper, I think he DQ'd according to the screen.
Oh dear, oh dear.
So we'll have to probably ask him after the race. Message him to see what happened.
Well, here's something interesting for you. You said that Dave the Harp's going 2 seconds a lap slower than Live Bry at the moment, but effectively both of the guys have only got one more pit stop to do. Now we're expecting Dave the Harp to do his on this particular lap, so let's see if he is going to be heading into the pits. Yes, he is. And Live Bry is just now coming around the final corner.
Yep, so that's the new tires here. But yeah, but GB and Beardy still hasn't really pulled much of a gap to Live Bry. I think he's got about 2 seconds. No, not 2 seconds. We're going to, this is 2/10 behind Live Bry, but I'm sure that's not true.
No, it might be 2/10 off in the sector. Okay, the pit exit battle. Dave the Harp is on his way out of his pit box. He's heading down the pit lane. Casely is heading down start finish straight. Is it going to be close?
Battle here. Yeah, battle here with the GT Gavin and James Hulkenberg. And Hulkenberg's going into the pits, so pretty close battle there.
Casely slipped. Oh no, big crash, big crash. I think Casely, he had the speed on Dave the Harp as he was recovering out of the, coming out of the pits, and I don't know whether Casely went for the inside and Dave went defensive or what, I don't know, but it looked like Casely had to take evasive, ended up in the barrier with a power boost penalty, but the opportunity was there to take the place.
And Live Bry's approaching some back markers. I believe it might be Chris. Yeah, it's Chris Clark. I'm just looking at lap times as well, and Beardy is only a few hundredths faster than... Beardy's only a few hundredths faster than Live Bry, so could Beardy close this gap down before the end of the race?
I think the opportunity is there to do so. GBM Vectra is in the pits. Hulkenberg's left the pits. GBM Vectra, like I say, is in the pits. Chris Core's coming down the start finish. He's going to take that place off him. So he does. He takes 7th place. Vectra's down to 8th. He's about to go down to 9th because Neotig passes him. Woolhouse isn't going to be close enough to get past. But it's. I don't think this race is over by a long shot yet.
Just looking, there's not much of a gap. Well, yeah, there's quite some gap between all the drivers. They'll spread it a little bit. Closest gap that I can see, closest battle is possibly David Harp and Casely. They're both on the start-finish straight.
Well, what's interesting about this is that Dave Harp and Casely, they've made their one and only stop. Live Brian, GBM Beardy may have to pit again. If they do, there's a good chance they're going to come out next to or behind these guys, and they'll be on the fresher tyre. But just behind Casely's GT Gavin, not too far away. So I think there's still a lot to play for in this race for all of the drivers. As GBM Beardy, he's trying to push now. He's got a car ahead of him. That's Neotig. He gets out of the way in a blue flag situation. Now, if Neotig's smart, he'll follow Beardy here, and then when Chris Core has to get out of the way, he can follow him through. And Beardy's so much faster through the chicane, but Chris Core does get out of the way. This is Neotig's opportunity to try and sneak past as well. And then he can quite do it. He has got a bit of a run on him, but into the corners where it's not easy to overtake. Chris Core's gone deep. He's gone so deep. I tell you what, Beardy.
Go fast.
Beardy was lucky then. I think Chris Core was focusing a little bit on Neotig and then realised, hang on a minute, there's a corner here. And he took evasive. Beardy was very lucky, but with him backing off a little bit to make sure he wasn't swiped, he nearly got overtaken by Neotig.
Yeah.
Now, who's got fastest lap of the race so far? Well, Livebry, his best is a 142.885, and that was actually his last lap. GBM Beardy, he's on a 142.810, and that was his last lap of the race. No, sorry, that's his best lap. It wasn't his last lap. My apologies.
And yeah, the same with Livebry. So Livebry's last lap was 143.4.
Yeah. So Livebry quicker on the previous lap, and the two guys that are in first and second on average 2 seconds faster than everybody else pretty much. Let's see, are Dave and Casely getting close? No, a bit of a gap's opened up between those two. I think Casely had his opportunity, and perhaps the collision has caused some damage on his car, and he's not going to want to pit again.
Oh, David Hart spun it. David Hart spun it.
He has. He's lost it at the Toaster chicane. Hairpin, even.
Casely's passed him.
And if he's not careful, GT Gavin will be too. No, GT Gavin's not.
I was going to say, massive gap between James Hulkenberg and GT Gavin. GT Gavin just gone past that corner where David Hart has spun it. Hulkenberg's now going into Tamburello, so quite a big gap between them.
Well, Hulkenberg did pit a couple of laps ago, so that could be a big part of the reason for that gap. Let's see, but there's a big gap from 6th to 7th. Neotig, he's got a power boost penalty. He's pulling over Chris Core. He's going to drive straight past him, and does so.
And as Beardy sets the fastest lap with a 142.5, so do you think these guys could possibly do these tires to the end?
I don't think, I don't know, I don't think they could, because you'd be looking at nearly 19, 20 laps on them. I don't think they could do that. 7th, 8th, 9th, that's brewing up. Neotig, after having his power boost penalty, has got Chris Core ahead of him, and GBM Vectra beginning to close in on them. I mean, people might wonder how the likes of, say, Dave the Harp or GBM Beardy or any of these drivers manage to spin these cars and think that they're dead easy to drive. The reality is they're not easy to drive. Oh, Neotig's...
sorry, if you're... GT Gavin's in the pits. Sorry, I thought you spun it there. But yeah, if you're... It's the same with all cars, really. That if you're going out of the exit of the corner and you're on the apex, chances are you're going to spin it. And because the balance of the car is a bit unbalanced, let's say, and it's quite easy to spin the cars if you're doing that. And that's exactly what happened to David Hart, because I saw him just as he did so.
Neotig just messed up the chicane, and GBM Vectra did exactly the same, but has got less of a power boost penalty, as Neotig also spins it trying to get going again. I think Jason has just passed Adam 4600. He has, so Jason is up to 10th place. And Wallace is down to 12th, and he's just smashed the car.
Live Bright and Beardy into the pits.
So there's your answer then as to whether they can go to the end. The answer is no. So what is going to be interesting now is what's going to be the gap. I mean, Dave the Harp kind of messed up a little bit by having that spin. He could have been there or thereabouts. K-Slay coming around the final corner with Dave the Harp. It could possibly be close, you know. Lifebright's going slow on the pit exit. He's just hit the barrier. GBM Beardy, he's going to lose out to K-Slay. K-Slay up to second place. GBM Beardy down to third with Dave the Harp right behind him. And this is what I was on about. Had Dave the Harp not had his spin, he probably would have been ahead of Livebry, which meant these guys, okay, they've got fresher tyres, but they've got traffic to deal with. Now it's only GBM Beardy that's got the traffic to deal with.
Yeah, and Beardy with the new tyres should be able to go past Casely with no problem. Let's hope.
Well, you'd think so. He's been putting in the faster lap times. I mean, when it comes to the strategies of 1 stops or 2 stops, I mean, it'd be easy for people to sit there and go, oh, well, Beardy and Lifebride could have done a 1 stop. Well, it is possible that the reason that they're putting in such fast lap times is because they are putting more work through the tyre, which doesn't allow them to go as long. But here we go then, Beardy's all over the back of K-Slay as they get to the Variante Alta chicane. Can't quite get past though, but if he gets a better exit, which it looks like he has done, he can have a go down into the Rivazza curves.
Yeah, so at this point Livebry will be trying to make as much of a gap as possible to Beardy. Not much differing these two, Beardy and Livebry, in terms of lap time, but Casey is run a bit wide going out of that first left-hand into the second one, and Beardy is just a bit ahead of him, but not by much. Casey still side by side with them. And I think it looks like actually Casey is actually managing to rise a little bit more speed compared to Beardy and be pretty close into Tamborello we go.
Well, Beardy's going to have to defend it. It means they'll go slow. This will give Dave a chance to catch them up. Nice bit of driving from them both there, but Beardy is now ahead.
With 8 laps to go, could he catch Livebry? Livebry was just over Casey. Looks like he was actually having a cheeky little look going into the second chicane, going at the undercut. No, but and Dave the Harp joining the action as well.
Yep. I said that this could close up a little bit with these 4. I wasn't too far off. We could just do with Livebry having a bit of a half spin and getting himself involved in this as well. But I mean, Beardy getting past K-Slay there has allowed Dave the Harp to latch onto the back of K-Slay now, so we're going to have a battle for 3rd place, and like you say, can Beardy catch up to Livebry? I'll tell you what, let's see if we can find out what the gap is between the two drivers. It can only be about 3 or 4 seconds. It is 4 seconds, so it's possible when you're 8 laps to go, you'd only need to catch him half a second a lap. It doesn't sound like much, but when the guys have been putting in very similar lap times, half a second is a lot. Dave the Harp's got to run on K-Slay. Or has it? K-Slay's got very, very good straight line speed in these cars.
Yeah, it looked like he did, because even when Beardy passed him, Casey was still able to have the speed to still battle with him.
Yep.
And it looks like Livebry has made it. Gap hasn't exactly changed between Livebry and Beardy.
We've got a car stationary. Or was it Livebry sideways? I thought I saw a car stationary for a moment in the gravel.
Looks like someone disconnected actually. Possibly.
Well, let's see. K-Slay still 3rd, Dave the Harp still 4th, Hulkenberg's 5th, and he's into the pits. His car's crabbing a little bit. That could just be a glitch. GT Gavin, who's in 6th place, could be running to the end but may have to stop again, so could get close between Hulkenberg and GT Gavin on pit exit. And then we've got 7th and 8th, they're absolutely battling it out. Chris Core and GBM Vectra with... No, Neotig is not quite close enough to them. But they have got a car behind them.
I think Liveby had a bit of a moment on this lap because Beardy has actually caught up to Liveby Dream. And not necessarily right behind him, but the gap has closed down. And the Liveby, he had a little bit of a moment. And I think the pressure's getting on to Liveby here. Okay.
Bit of info for you. GT Gavin is ahead of Hulkenberg, who has come out of the pits in 6th place. Dave Harp and Casely.
Dave Harp.
Go on, talk us through it.
And looks very close. Dave Harp drifting. Casely driving normally, but we obviously know his lag. Could Casely go for a dive into Tamburello? Nope. And looks like these two cars as well making the Tamburello nice and safely. And Dave Harp is now up into 3rd.
That he is. I tell you what, you're right about Beardy catching up to Livebright. He is, and Livebright is also catching a little bit of traffic. He's catching the 7th and 8th place battle, which has just had a collision with one of Chris Core and GBM Vectra. I think it was Vectra who has just had a bit of a moment with Chris Core. Livebright's right in the middle of all that. He's now got Beardy all over the back of him. We've got tyre smoke all over the place as Beardy now gets past GBM Vectra.
Yeah, and Casely, David Hop hasn't exactly pulled away from Casely. Casey's still able to possibly make a move on David Hart if he has a good exit to a corner. But we do know that Casely does have good straight line speed in these cars around this track. And yeah, the gap has definitely dropped between Livebright and Beardy.
Beardy's got Chris Core. Yeah, because he's got Chris Core just ahead of him, who will want to get out of the way.
He's not doing that.
But here's a thought for you as well regarding Casely and Dave the Harp. Casely is on 1 lap holder tyres, and that could make all the difference, as it does look like Dave the Harp is pulling away from him. And I must admit, I absolutely despise the audio sounds we're getting from these Aussie V8s, because to be honest, these Aussie V8s sound absolutely amazing. And when you've got the audio sounding like it is, it makes the game appear weak, really, in my opinion.
Yeah. And obviously we're lucky that the drivers aren't actually hearing the same audio that we are, because I know there's a glitch on F1 315 that if you destroy your car, you are able to go back into a session, but your engine volume is dropped dramatically. Yes. And that does affect your performance on track.
Do you know why it does it?
Codemasters developed the game, that's why.
No, it's not a glitch.
Oh no?
No, it's not a glitch. Basically, right, on F1, you do a practice session and you write your car off. They fix your car, but you wrote your car off. So it's got some damage to it. That's why it doesn't sound right. Oh. It happens all the time. Now, the car can perform exactly the same as it normally would, but it doesn't sound right. Now, if you always go off gear changes on the audio and things like that, then obviously you won't go as quick because the car doesn't sound right. But if you go off the visuals on the rev counter, you can go just as quick as if you hadn't damaged the car. But basically, yeah, you wrote the car off, your crews put it back together as best they could, but they've not been able to make it sound right. So it's not a kind of a glitch. I mean, whether they've done it on purpose, I don't know, but I think GBM Vectra's just had a big off at the Rivazza curves, but it has allowed Casely and Dave the Harp to get past, as they're now trying to get past Chris Core.
Well, it looks like Livebright managed to build a little bit of a gap to Beardy compared to a couple of laps ago. With only 4 laps to go, anything could happen.
It definitely could. I mean, Beardy has been closing that gap in. He's got fastest lap down to a 42.0. Now, on my view, Beardy's looking a lot smoother on the track at the moment, but that is because Livebright's car is sideways everywhere.
Yep. And also, Casey is the last car to be on the leader's lap, because JT Gavin is going up the hill towards the final chicane off the track, and as he has a bit of a moment. So yeah, only 4, and he spins it.
That's
and
yeah. I was about to say that puts Hulkenberg up to 5th place. He'll be very, very thankful about that one. I tell you what, the gap between 6th and 7th is huge. I was going to say it doesn't look that big, but actually it's huge. It's nearly a lap. Oh, Casey's off! Casey's off! He's spun it into the barrier.
Oh dear.
Is that going to allow Hulkenberg to get close? No, he's way too far behind. But that frees up Dave the Harp. So the battle to focus on then for the final 4 laps is going to be effectively the battle for the lead. Quickly going back to F1 and its audio when you write the car off. It's really annoying, but at the same time I actually kind of liked it. It's sort of like, yeah, you wrote your car off as a bit of a punishment. Although there was one time where I really, really was annoyed by it, and that was I was practicing with Kev. He wrote his car off and it affected the noise on my car. His was fine, mine wasn't. So it was almost as if the team went, right, okay, he's wrote the car off, so we'll fix it, give it to you, and he can have yours because that's fine. You cheeky suds.
That's a bit of a Red Bull decision back in Silverstone 2010.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. But, okay, so what do you reckon then with, 2.5 laps to go? Do you think Beardy can get him?
Well, the gap is closing and getting bigger every now and then. I think possibly Libra could take... I don't know, this is so close. But I think no matter what happens, any one of these drivers could win it.
I tell you what, I mean, Beardy's catching him really, really quick now in the corners. He's all over the back of him already. I think he'll have him.
There's a possibility, definitely. And with back markers, I don't know.
And the thing is, who's the back marker that's just ahead of him? Is it GBM Vectra, who could be related to GBM Beardy, or it's Gavin. So there'll be no dodgy team orders going on there then. But the pressure is now on. As they come around the final corner, they're about to have 2 laps to go. And for Beardy, I mean, after having that spin, he's done fantastically well to close the gap in. Can he get ahead? Can he do anything else about it? I mean, it's in that middle sector where the corners are that he's been really closing the gap up. Yep. Oh, GT Gavin, he's off. He's out of the way. That kind of worked out quite well for him.
But Beardy is right and behind. I forgot his name. Live right, that's his name. I forgot his name. But yeah, I think the gap is definitely closest that we've seen in quite some time. With only 2 laps to go, the pressure is definitely on Libra to perform here.
And the thing is, looking at the standings, I mean, Livebry is what? He's 20 points behind GBM Beardy. So if they stay in the positions they're in, he'll gain 5 points back on him with, 4 races to go. So Livebry kind of needs this, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And remember, these 2 guys pitted on the same lap, so you would expect the tyre performance to be the same between them. But who knows? Maybe.
But he's having a look. He's having a look up the inside.
Yeah,
no, he's not.
No, yeah. So you never know if one of the setups is more aggressive on the tyres. But
he nearly spun it.
With a moment, yeah, it looked like he did, and that's freed up Libry a bit for the final lap.
Well, into that chicane, we've seen him a few times have a look, not go for it, and focus more on the exit of the corner. He tried it on that occasion and had a bit of a poor exit, but he's on the back of Livebry again, and they've got more traffic ahead of them in the form of Jason, I think it is, who could be fighting for position with Adam 4600 or even Chris Core.
Yeah, so hopefully these...
No, it's Sorry, it is Jason, but it's Hulkenberg, who is in 5th place. So blue flags will be waving. These guys are on the last lap of the race, and Beardy's having another look.
It's too close.
I think he's trying to get Livebry out of position. It's not quite worked. Look up the inside into the hairpin. Live Bride going defensive.
Yep. As Hulkenberg moves out the way, I think Jason is doing the same thing, is he?
He's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. Yeah, he's well out of the way. Obviously, I think Jason was thinking with Hulkenberg, what do you do? Pull it over. Oh, right, okay, that's why. Okay, not many corners left to go. Beardy, he's got a good run up the hill. We've seen him attempt to move on the exit of the chicane a few times. Is he going to be trying it again? Focus in on the exit.
Hopefully won't do a Raikkonen and completely dive bomb. Live right, with only a couple of corners to go. I think Live right has got it.
I think you might be right. Into the Rivazza curves. One corner to go. Has Beardy got a good run on the exit? This could get close if he has. I don't think he's got the straight line speed though.
I don't think he's got it.
No, so
yeah, sorry.
It's alright. Live Bride is going to take the victory. It was close. With GBM Beardy taking second place. A fantastic battle between those two guys. Dave the Harp, he's in third place. Kay Slay, I'm not sure how far behind he is. Oh, I tell you what, he's not that far behind Dave. Without that spin that he had, he would have been much closer at the end, and it's close between them as it is. So Dave the Harp is going to cross the line to take third place. He gets to be on the podium interviews for the first time this season. And I can't get on board with Kay Slay. Apologies. There we go. Kay Slay has taken fourth place. Hulkenberg is in fifth place, with GT Gavin in sixth place. Now, obviously, everybody that's been lapped, they've already effectively been classified. What a race! What a race!
Yeah, definitely.
So
very enjoyable to watch.
Your standout parts of the race there, then?
I think there's been too many, to be honest. If I could, I'd just say the whole race, but definitely the battle between, well, the top three effectively. Battle for the top three positions were very close. Live Ride edging ahead of Beardy, and Dave the Harp edging out against Tiscorp, despite that spin that he had a few laps ago. But yeah, making the one-stop work for Dave the Harp. Pretty good result for him.
Yeah, it was a very good result, taking a third place finish there. I mean, I will have a quick look at what that'll do for Dave in the standings, but I just want to make sure that we get a proper classification of the result, because Project Cars does like to mix it all up before everybody has crossed the line. So Live Bride did take the win. GBM Beardy second place, and Dave the Harp third. Kay Slay fourth, Hulkenberg fifth, GT Gavin sixth, GBM Vectra seventh, Chris Core in eighth, Neotig ninth, Adam 4600 in 10th, and Jason in 11th.
So you had, what was that, 5 car shop? No, you had the 3 car shop out.
Yes, 3 cars. Sergeant Caliber, Jonesy, and 1989 Woolhouse. Okay, time to get on to the podium interviews. So I'm just going to give you, all the viewers, a blue screen for a moment while I send an invite out to Live Bry, GBM Beardy and Dave the Harp.
And I'll see what YouTube comments say. Feel free to post any questions you have.
If you
to the top 3 and comments.
Yeah, if you do have any questions, just put at PCS, and Rehan can ask the drivers. So if you do have any questions for the podium sitters, feel free to send those questions in. But yeah, I must admit, that was a fantastic race there. I mean, Live Brian, GB and Beardy, ridiculously quick. I liked Dave the Harp and Kay Slay's strategy. It really put them in play for a possibility of the win, or definitely 3rd and 4th place.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dave has joined us. So Dave, just like to make sure that you've got your microphone set to allow to be shared. and we shall come to you for a few questions in a few moments' time. We'll just wait for Live Bry and GBM Beardy, who are probably having a little bit of a chat between themselves before they join us. It gives Dave the chance to put a different bit of smoke around his car.
Was I drifting?
Oh yeah.
I got it off someone else for him.
So Live Bry has joined us now in the commentary box, and so has GBM Beardy. So guys, if you could go quickly, make sure you got your microphone set to allow to be shared, and we shall crack on. Live Bry, a fantastic race, the absolutely fantastic race. Probably couldn't have been much closer at the end, but I've got to say, throughout the race, the first stint looked like you was just pacing yourself and sort of saying, yeah, come on then, let's see what you got. Second stint, you got ahead and you weren't willing to give it up, as Beardy made the odd mistake. That final stint, the gap just kept coming down, but not enough. But my question to you is, you got to be delighted about taking the win there, surely.
Just with the season, I'm well happy.
Well, it's a victory that you needed. I mean, you were 20 points behind Beardy in the standings. Taking the victory here, it means you gain 5 in on him. If you can keep those results going, the fight for the title is on.
It was great, to be honest, it was great. First stint was really cooperation with Beardy. I really enjoyed that. That was some of the best racing I've had in Project Car.
So here's a question for you then. Your tyres, were your tyres knackered by the time you pitted? Was it always a 2-stop strategy, or were you just going to follow whatever he did on that first stop?
I was going to run a 1-stop at one point through the day, but I decided 2 would have been quicker and you can actually race full non-stop instead of trying to save tyres. So it was always going to be a 2-stop.
Well, it worked for you. How stressful was that last stint, those last couple of laps?
The last stint I had, every car that came up, they were basically drifting, so trying to get close to people, there was no chance. And Beardy gained 6 seconds in a lap, I think. And that's what closed it up near the end.
Well, it made it close, it made it interesting, but very well done on taking the victory there. Rianne, any questions for Live Bry?
For myself, well, first of all, big congratulations to you, Live Bry, after the last season. Well, not last season, I'm talking about last weekend.
Yeah, last week.
Was there any point in that race that you thought, oh, I might not take the win?
The second stint when I came out behind Beardy, I thought Beardy was just about to clear off. I thought he'd been sandbagging to be honest with you, first stint, but he wasn't.
Yeah, it was very beautiful. There's some people commenting in the comments of the stream that they were very close up front with no body contact, but I'm sure there was some contact between you two.
No, I don't think we did we, Beardy?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, very impressive.
I didn't feel it.
Well, a fantastic result for yourself. We might come back to you in a few moments' time. We'll move over to GBM Beardy. Are you disappointed or satisfied with the result?
I'm absolutely buzzing. I loved it. Second place was probably the only result. Well, I had a chance for the win, but I mean, second place, I can be satisfied with that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the first into the race, it was very, very close between yourself and Live Bry. And it wasn't until about 5-6 laps into the stint where we noticed, okay, it started going defensive now. So we could tell that there was a little bit of pressure on there. I'm guessing 2-stop was always going to be the strategy that you was going to go with. But what I'm interested to know is, after that first stop, all of a sudden you just pulled out a gap and then something happened. So tell us about pulling out the gap.
Well, pulling out the gap, I got a great pit stop. Came out the pits, then come round to one of the corners, going downhill into the double right-hander, and just hit the curb, and the back end just went in a bit. Thought I had it under control, and that was it. I was just like gutted.
So the water corner decided that you were no longer in control. I say it 'cause it's called the Aqua Minerale. But anyway, I mean, from that moment, you recovered very well. Obviously, though, it soon became apparent you got Kay Slate and you got Dave the Harp doing a one-stop strategy. And on that final stop, I mean, Live Bright, I don't know if you call it luck or well-timed, he comes out the pits just ahead of them. You come out the pits and there's a right pain in the back, manages to get past you into the first corner. Frustrating at that point? Much time lost?
Well, not really, 'cause I mean, fair enough, I had quite a lot of to get back, to be honest. The gap to get back.
Yeah.
And when I saw that there was a gap down the inside into the last corner on Casely, I actually had to take it, because I thought if I stay behind him any longer, this race is just going to
Get away from him. And his straight line speed was fairly damn good as well, because even though you got the move done, he was still there to fight you into the first corner. But I mean, as soon as you got ahead of him, you were able to start working on that gap to Live Bright. And I mean, we worked it out. It was about a 4-second gap with 8 laps to go. I mean, is there not even a hint of disappointment that you couldn't have a dive bomb on him in that last lap?
No, absolutely not. I mean, I knew going into this race it was going to be a good race. So, all congratulations to Bright, to be honest.
Yeah,
Practice has been brilliant this week, to be honest with you. We have people in
Sounds
racing
been
with us, and
fantastic.
it's been really good getting used to carburetor and stuff. So that's what made for good racing this week.
Good. Well, fantastic result for the both of you there. So, Rhian, any questions for Beardy?
For Beardy, well, again, have a well done on the result.
Cheers, man.
Any questions? Well, not in the comments, but myself. I don't think I'm going.
I've got one for him. With a name like Beardy, are you old enough to have a beard? Have you started shaving yet?
Oh, I've been shaving for years.
So why is it Beardy?
Because it's my last name. Well, my last name's a Beard.
All right, fair enough. That's a bit. Does that mean that GBM Vectra's last name is Vectra?
No, he had a 5-cylinder Vectra, and when I went to see him once, it was a bit knackered, to be honest.
So it was more like a 3-cylinder Vectra. But, okay, anyway. Anyway, very well done to Live Bright and Beardy on taking first and second there. We'll quickly move on to Dave the Harp. Hey Dave, it's been a while since you've been on the podium, fella. Congratulations, well done.
It's good to be back. Felt good that race.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think in the early stages it perhaps became quite apparent, okay, those two at the front, they're gone. But yourself and Casely, I mean, you guys had a fantastic battle all the way through the race, but I mean, the opening laps, there was like 6 or 7 cars all sort of fighting for one position, and a lot of it, there was some fantastic driving, a lot of power boost penalties, but we'll move on to the strategy. Was it always the plan to go for the one stop?
Well, I tried it out in a practice session on my own before the race, and I sort of kept it on track without making mistakes with driving to the tyres limit. So I thought, it feels okay, so I'll give it a go.
Well, you went 14 on the first stint, Casely went 13 on the first stint. That gave him the opportunity of an undercut. It got a little close when you come out of the pits.
Oh, lap 14 was terrible. The tyres just wouldn't stop in the brakes. I feel it sliding.
Did you see him clipping the wall when in your mirrors when you came out of the pits?
I did, yeah. It was pretty close there. think he should have used the brakes a bit sooner myself.
Oh dear. Well, it got very close. I mean, it was a cracking battle between yourselves. I mean, did you think there might be half a chance of getting involved in the fight for a win, seeing that the guys up at the front are on a 2-stop? Did it occur to you that they would come out of their last stops somewhere near you?
No, it's after the first stop. I was still ahead, I think I was, wasn't I?
You was ahead of Casely, yeah. Until you had a spun.
6 seconds in front of me when you pitted there.
And then I thought, no, the gap just isn't big enough because they're too quick and they're going to catch me. So all my tyres are just going to get slower and slower, and they're going to go in for new ones, and they've already built the gap up. So it was third place I was fighting for all the way.
Well, third place it was, and a fantastic result of that. Just going to have a quick look at the old points and see what it does for you. I mean, obviously up at the top, Live Bride's going to pull in 5 points on GB and Beardy. Let's see, Beardy will be on 136 and Live Bride will be on 121 or something like that. Let's see, for yourself, Dave, you'll go from 43 points, scoring 16, so that'll put you on 59, which may have jumped you ahead of GT Gavin, but may not have jumped you ahead of K Slay, because he will have scored 13 points, so yeah, he'll still be slightly ahead of you. Anyway, over to Rianne. Any questions from YouTube or any comments from YouTube worth firing at the drivers?
There's only a couple. The one spectator was saying quality driving up front, close and no contact skills, as you mentioned before. Chris Core did mention that there was a lot of smoke behind the Hulkenberg and he couldn't see anything as a result of that. And Jason, he made a funny comment saying, stop having a cigar on the track, can't see the bloody track. Because I think both of us did mention that quite a lot of I think half the grid was having the drift lag issues.
Yeah.
And I think it's just something to do with these cars, to be honest with you. It's been happening in practice all week.
It could well be. I mean, the interesting thing as well was those that were drifting when they pitted, they come out of the pits and weren't drifting until they sort of went over a curb or something. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't make for great viewing. But I will quickly mention, actually, quickly asked GB and Beardy, there was a part of the race where you caught up to a couple of back markers into the last couple of corners, and I think it was Chris Core actually. He kind of got it a little bit wrong. I think him and Neotig had let you go past, and him letting you past put Neotig all over the back of him. Then it was kind of like, oh no, there's a corner here. So how close was it to you getting a little bit wiped out?
Very close. I mean, you should have heard the words in that chat when I was singing. I saw it I've got the mirror in the middle, and I thought Chris Cole's not stopping here. And then all of a sudden I just saw his car just fly into the gravel. I was just like, whoa.
I think, you know what, I think to be fair, it didn't look great, but in his defence, I think it was one of those where he realised he'd got it wrong, so he tried to take as much evasive as he could, and had he got it hot like 6 inches slightly further to the right, yeah, you'd have probably been looking for the front end of your car in another country.
You can go, it's just that corner because you're just going downhill and you're getting the slipstream as well.
Yeah, I mean,
that just goes like.
I mean, I mentioned, or we talked about it in commentary, that those last couple of corners, they're a really difficult set of corners to overtake in. It's tempting to, because as you say, you get the slipstream, but then with it being a downhill braking zone, it is so easy to get your braking wrong. But one of the things that we enjoyed was with Live Bry, yourself, Dave, Casely, a few other people, it looked more tactical. It was sort of like, okay, I'm going to dummy a move into this corner, make you go a little bit defensive, get you offline a bit, and then I'm going to overtake you out of the corners. which made for some fantastic racing. Whereas Chris Core
That's the only
thought,
way you can pass on there.
yeah, well, Chris Core, I think, was putting in an application for NASA, just put a rocket up the backside and see how he gets on. I'm joking, Chris Core. By the way, it was enjoyable to watch.
Everyone did try getting out of the way tonight. They did try while we were going past. They did try getting out of the way to go and swing. So
Yes, yeah. I mean, blue flag situations are not always nice to deal with, but it is always nice for the drivers to do the best thing and get out of the way. And even on that, it was amusing when Hulkenberg gets out of the way to let you guys through, gets overtaken by Jason, who's a lap down, and Jason's sort of like, what are you slowing down for? Oh crap, they're right behind me. Okay, I'll go wide at this corner. But sometimes it is very easy to get focused on what is ahead and not on what is right behind you. Okay, time to pretty much bring this to an end then.
We still have one more question actually, just
Go on then.
I think more of a general question to Dave the Hart from Richie Davey. What's it like to be slower than Richie Davey?
Oh, I've got a bad chest. That hurt.
I didn't even know what he said.
Richie Davey wants to know what it's like to know that Richie Davey was faster than you in lecture.
Yeah, it was only because I got taken out.
You always get taken out, Dave. I don't know. You and that Lotus, it's just something about it. You like to be upside down. I reckon they need to put your seatbelt in the opposite way round.
They need to go back to basics and learn how to drive yourself, some of them.
Ooh,
Shots fired.
fighting talk. Get the Savlon out. There's burns all over the place. Right. Right, okay. I tell you what though, Hesselden wasn't racing tonight. Would have been interesting to see where he would have been in that fight. However, if the guys aren't going to be on the track, you take full advantage of it, and that is exactly what Live Bright, Beardy, Dave Harp, Casely and everybody else have done this evening. But it is now time to bring this to an end. So next up on the Front Row Racing YouTube channel will be next Friday. The F1 League has finished now, taking a break from that for a while, so it'll be next Friday for the Front Row Racing PCF, 9 o'clock for round 7 at the Nordschleife. And then next up for the Front Row Racing PCS will be next Sunday for round 7, also at the Nordschleife.
Good luck.
Yeah. Good luck. I don't know what's going to be harder on that one. Driving round it or commentating on it. Oh, he's crashed. He's crashed. He's in the barrier.
Every single name of the corners, DP.
You know what to do then? You can Google them for yourself.
Well, my goal in that race was to lap someone.
I tell you what, giving out the names of the Nordschleife, it'd be a little bit like the what's it called? Science. You know the table of science symbols. Oh, what's that song called?
Periodic table.
The periodic table. Yeah, it'd be like the periodic table song.
Yeah, you might even try and attempting some of the corner names, and it could actually sound racist.
Quite possibly.
I'm sure you're going to pick all them ones out then, aren't you?
I think
if,
Richie Davey.
Oh, here we go. What death?
I just want to ask him if he's enjoying my videos, if he learned anything yet, Rich. Seems like he's subscribed to my channel.
Jerry.
I think that's one that could continue on. You know they're going to crash into each other next week as well. Last corner, last lap of the Nordschleife. They've just sat there and raced around it for an hour. They're both going to end up upside down as they both get beaten by a nobody.
They'll probably get out of the car.
Right, okay, it is time to bring this to an end. We're done, folks. We're done for this evening. It's time to go. So very well done to Live Brian taking the victory, GBM Beardy taking second place, and Dave the Hart for taking third. Thank you very much to GT5 King 78 in commentary this evening.
Pleasure again. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. And I've been from Row Racing DP, and we'll see you all again on Friday.
Jeez, well done, lads.
Goodbye.
Yeah, well done.